I am Tatar Khan, and let's talk today about why I am indifferent to Terrans in StarCraft 1. And when I say StarCraft 1, I mean the original StarCraft. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the race and we're gonna talk about it. And I should, I guess we can call it a race or a faction, doesn't matter either way. So let's jump in. So let's note the first thing here is that I am not a professional StarCraft player. And therefore, and I just failed at cloning, as an example of that. So, and therefore, like I said, I'm not a professional StarCraft player, so therefore I'm not going to be doing everything correctly and so on. And if you're looking and saying like, oh, you're doing everything, building incorrectly, playing incorrectly, yeah, it's probably I am. But I don't want to be a professional StarCraft player. I'm not looking to become the best player that ever was in StarCraft, so I just play StarCraft for my enjoyment. And from that perspective, I'm actually talking about this faction here. So, what is I would like to also to note is that in this, when I'm talking that I'm indifferent to it, I don't mean that I do not like it, and I do not mean that it's bad from perspective of design. No, there's no issue here with the design because StarCraft is an esports, so the faction is very well designed. All of them are. What I mean is that it lacks some kind of uniqueness to it. Something is just missing to make me really interested in it. Like I can play it, no problems, but it's just there's something missing in it. Now the faction itself is internally consistent to the lore, so there's no issues there or anything like that. And I should stop blabbing and start building up the base, because if I'm going to be late on this, the AI will take advantage of it and just steamroll me eventually. So I need to be building up pretty quickly. Let's build up a supply depot. So when it comes to lore, it's like I said, it's very consistent. Everything is from the look of the buildings to the units, all consistent with the lore that's provided in the instruction manual. And we're gonna start moving here. One of the SCVs that we need for construction purposes. And what happens is that I would say it's extremely consistent, even in the explaining why there's no healing for the Terran soldiers. It's, the lore explains why Terrans don't really care that much about them. So from that perspective, everything is really well done here. But like I said, there's something unique elements that I know that would have been if it would have been added would really make it interesting for me as a faction to play, because I would say it's an easy faction to start playing. Also, I should say that. Let's do this. Let's build another barracks. So if you never played StarCraft for some reason and you played other RTSs, it would be very easy for you to pick up this faction. Even if you're gonna play the pro campaigns, which kind of starts out with the Terrans as the first faction that you play in the campaigns. So, but if you never played it, like I said, if you played RTSs, it would be easy to start off with this faction, because everything works here the same way as in all RTSs. Resource collecting building is one that produces workers, barracks produce military units, and so on. There's even supply depots, which is analogy to houses, farms, and so on, different methods of providing some kind of restrictions on the population of the units. And we're gonna start building up marines now, and I think we're going to need to actually we should get him to build another supply depot. We're gonna need that. And we're gonna scout with the first marine that we're gonna get to find out who are we facing. So like I said, everything with this faction is very much standard, everything consistent with what you will find in any other RTS as such. Alright, I'm gonna start scouting with him forward. Let's go ahead and let's send some marines here from this building as well, so that we can start. Go ahead and off they go. Okay, so and since we're already at this moment here, might as well build up an academy. And I'm just gonna wait here quickly for. Okay, I'm gonna send this one back to harvest resources we're gonna need to. We're already kind of a bit, I think, behind. And so here's some of our units. One thing that's interesting about this faction is that its buildings can lift off. Not all the buildings can lift off and fly, but some can. And you can kind of fly them, relocate them, and so on. right? It's possible, but again, it's an interesting thing, and there are some strategies that involve the idea of flying your buildings around. But oh, and we're dealing with the Protoss here, and we should retreat immediately and get ourselves more units, because we're going to need a lot more units to just to stand up to the Protoss. Alright, they're heading for us here. Hopefully we're gonna have enough of our Marines out and ready to take out this wave of Protoss. And since he's ready already, let's do this. We're also gonna build up the engineering bay. I done the wrong Protoss, and so we got damaged too much. Okay, so since we have this, and I should have already started building up gas, but I didn't, so this is not good. Alright, so in the meantime, then let's build up a bit more Marines to hold the line. So let's get the gas ready, and let's build up for gas. And let's we're gonna need some workers to start getting gas for us here. We're gonna send him back to resources because we don't have enough of them also. Alright. Oh, one too many. Okay. Good. Let's continue with this. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna start having the gas mining, and we can again focus on building up the base and talking about the Terrans themselves. So I'm gonna start off with and of course we're gonna need something else. Again, I forgot something that I should have used, I guess, and since we are waiting for supply depots, let's start building up the Addons. There's something interesting about about Terrans. They have something called Addons. Addons allow them to kind of build up an extra addition to the building, which will perform certain different functions. And as soon as it's ready, I will show you what it is and what are we dealing with here. I'm gonna build up some armor so that my units can stand up longer to attacks, at the same time as we are building up the supply depots. And let's build up cannot do that. But I'm gonna build up an SCV. I cannot do that. Okay. So I still forgot that I don't have supply depots, and that's what an add-on can do. It can show me exactly what's going on in enemy base. Alright, and so I'm gonna send him over here and build another supply depot here, and we're going to do this. And now we're going to get the fire bats. And let's you look at the units. Let's start with the infantry. While StarCraft is happening in the future, it doesn't really feel that the Terran infantry is that much different, right? You still kind of feel that, oof. We're gonna lose all of them, I guess.
Your forces are under attack.
Alright. And that means we need to start building up other buildings also. Let's start building up the ones that will produce vehicles, factories. Alright. Meantime, I'm gonna build up the fire bats because that's the best way to stand up to Protoss right now. I'm gonna send another unit to go start searching for location for the future base, so that I'm no longer running out of resources constantly. Alright, base found. So, like I said, when it comes to soldiers, there's nothing really feels special about the about the Terran infantry units. They are kind of feel well standard. That's what you know. Looking at them, you kind of find them okay. Well, it's what's to be expected of them. Okay, and we're going to build an add-on here. Now, talking about the add-ons. Add-ons are kind of interesting mechanic, but in the end, it doesn't feel like it's that much of an interesting mechanic, because in other RTSs, the function will be just performed by the building itself. So you don't need to build up an add-on. So it's kind of, again, it's there, but I wouldn't be, saying like, oh yeah, that's the one that's really, makes this faction really interesting. Oh, it's kind of there, and it's kind of it's possible to use it, but
Not enough minerals.
all right, we need that base going on the top so that we can get more minerals going here. Otherwise, we're going to lose here to the Protoss. Okay, let's start this going.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, good. The armor upgrade is ready. This one is not ready yet. Now, when it comes to vehicle units, we got what a speed bike that fires grenades. We got a tank, a mech, something again standard for the future tech, not anything special. When it comes to units that are air units, we got similar situation there. It's very standard. I wouldn't say that there's anything against very much special in terms of units that we have there for the air units either. So again, it's like, okay, what is like something's missing, like what I'm trying to say. There are a few interesting units, I would say, that are available. We'll start attacking, because otherwise the enemy will start attacking.
Research complete.
Good. We got the tanks going, and I think this one is complete. Good. So that's gonna solve our problem with not enough resources constantly. Alright, I'm gonna position the tank here. We're gonna need another tank here, and we're also gonna need gonna build up another farbad. And let's send off this ones to do construction again. All right. And we're just gonna add something to the weapons. Hopefully here, deploy this one in a tank form so that he protects this area. And we're gonna rally point them here, and I'm just gonna need to build up another building here. All right. And this tank goes here. We're going to need more workers out here on get the resources going. And let's spy and see what is it that we're dealing here with. Okay. Good. You're going to go ahead, attack now, and try to ruin the enemy's economy. Basically, that's what's going to be the approach we're going to take.
You got it. Slamming. Fired up. Naturally.
SCV good to go, sir.
Naturally. Let's burn.
Right, and so
Naturally. Let's burn. Naturally. Slam it.
good. So we're just gonna take him out very quickly.
Got it. Slam it. Naturally. Slam it. Naturally. Slam it. Naturally. You got it.
Our effect on the player's economy here, the AI's economy, is not going to be that big because in the end it looks like. Oh no, I was going to say not a lot of our fire bats are going to survive, but it looks like enough survived, so good. And I should start building up things and pay attention to what's happening. Okay, let's get another tank going. Just a few more fire bats. And let's send this one off, and I'm gonna need 2 more here. Alright, come on, let's do this. So, when it comes to Air Force, which is provided through spaceships here, again, there's not much here to really kind of help us out here. Oh, and armored situation where I can start building other buildings. Should be building up armories.
I read you. Right away, sir. Orders received. Affirmative.
Alright, there we go.
Destination. Proceeding.
Alright.
Orders, sir.
Gonna build more fire bats and kind of get
You got my attention.
that group going there,
Destination.
hopefully, and
Upgrade complete.
to start building up the gas production here, because eventually we're gonna start running out of gas now. So, like I mentioned before, air units which are provided by spaceships, nothing really special here, but there are some unique units here that I would say that are interesting to play around with. And that specifically comes to the ghosts here. Right, I don't have them out yet here, but the ghosts are a very interesting unit because they can cloak themselves, they can call in the nuclear strikes, they can destroy the enemy's unit's abilities to kind of function completely for for a short period of time. It's not a permanent type of situation, but it does apply to them for a short period of time. I'm just gonna build up another, few more tanks, and once we have that, we can start advancing on the enemy.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
We're just gonna build a tower here, and we're gonna progress with other things.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Like I said, we're gonna start running out of gas.
Orders, Captain.
Okay.
Orders, sir. Yes, sir. Identify target. Orders, sir. Yes, sir. Ready to roll out. SCV good to go, sir.
And let's send our bats here to continue to deal with this enemy. Hopefully we're gonna have enough gas. Yes, we do. And let's look at what are we dealing here again. So they did build up things back up again.
SCV good to go, sir.
Hopefully we're gonna have enough stuff soon to really deal with problems. Okay, They started building a bases already next to me.
Yes, sir. Roger that.
We're going to build up a few.
Be good to go, sir.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
All right,
Report for
there we go. The gas problem is gonna get solved now. We're gonna start building up our new bases as well.
Slamming.
Yes, sir.
Fired up.
Orders, sir. D-latitude, sir. SCV good to go, sir. Destination.
Want to turn up the heat.
All right, let's continue on and see.
Got it. Slamming. Naturally.
And now we're just gonna go ahead and destroy the probes here, the economy this way, gonna get damage.
Naturally. Slamming.
Alright, let's take out the Protoss and
Want to turn up the heat. Slamming. Naturally.
let's start dealing damage to the base. In the meantime, we're gonna start moving our units here, and we're going to need some tanks here close by. And Addon here. So I'll send him back, and we're gonna build a starport. And
Your forces are under attack.
Want to turn up the heat. Got it.
Identify target. Absolutely.
Want to turn up the heat.
I'm just gonna let the tanks destroy things here, you know, as they are acting as artillery in this case. So there's another unique and interesting unit that can be used, and it's one of those flying units, and it's called a science vessel. So you know, now that we got things under control, I can talk again. And so when it comes to the science vessel, it does provide certain benefits that are kind of interesting, because it does not really directly deal any damage to opponents as such. It doesn't have any directly weighted damage, but it has abilities that can improve your other units or add during the attack. So it has the ability to damage all organic units or all organic buildings, which is pretty good. There we go.
Reporting in.
And we're going to build a science here as well. So based on that, based on its ability to kind of let's see. Okay, seems to be half finished here. So based on those kind of abilities, it's really effective sometimes, and it can sway how the battle with the opponent is going, because you can kind of move things in a different way. Let's build up the Air Force now, because of all these different abilities that you have to deploy. Like the other one builds has temporary shields that are provided, that abilities to disable enemy vehicles' ability to deal damage through special attacks, right? So that's also pretty useful. We're just going to move in tanks a bit more here. And let's get
Additional supply
okay, we're gonna need
depots
more supply
required.
depots apparently. And we're just going to build an add-on.
Reinforced additional supply depots required.
Orders, sir. Identify target.
And let's just check where did the enemy go. Doesn't look like the enemy built up anything here.
Destination. Identify target.
And we're doing pretty well now.
Complete.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. And let's start building up our not construction, the mining crew there. And we might as well build another science building here.
SCV good to go, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Rate the waiting on, George.
Proceeding.
So the enemy apparently is somewhere here now. So,
Absolutely.
but what I want to say is that in the end,
Two, sir.
SCV good to go, sir.
Absolutely.
Want to turn up the heat.
having it having two kind of a unique type of interesting units is just, I don't think it's just sufficient enough for me to kind of go ahead and say yeah this really is making this very interesting unique faction in play type of way for me. Like I said, it's all well designed, it's all very well made, but I cannot really say that it's really unique and interesting enough in that way.
You got my attention.
All right, we got.
Orders, sir.
SCV good to go, sir.
We're gonna send these tanks here.
Ready to roll out. Ready to roll out.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
And we can start
Need a light.
upgrading the tanks further.
Depots required.
Orders, Captain.
There you go. So I guess at this point I would say that that's it that I want to really say about the Terrans here. I'm just gonna continue to build and kind of attack the enemy and slowly destroy the enemy. There's not much here else that's left to do. It's gonna kind of roll forward with our tanks, and as we're getting reinforcements for the tanks slowly also, and
Additional supply depots required.
You got my attention.
now we got our
Complete.
Slamming.
fire bats ready to go also, so flamethrowing units here ready.
You got it.
So we can go ahead and start exploring where else the enemy is.
Fired up. You got it. SCV good to go, sir.
Right, so
Orders, sir.
I guess, like I said, this is, there's not something really unique enough about Terrans to really make me appreciate them that much. But overall, they're okay. I'm just kind of indifferent to them. Well, thank you for watching, for listening. If you like this video, please like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it. And please follow and subscribe.